Welcome everyone to Straight from the Paws. Today I have again with me my co-host Beverly Andrade, our treasurer from Forever Paws Animal Shelter, and Kathy Salmon.
Hello.
And her friend Harold. Hi Harold. He's a great looking guy. All right. Today we're going to share a little bit of information about Kathy and another aspect of what Kathy does in the animal world. Kathy, how did you get involved working with animals?
I have always had a passion for animals. And it was over the last 2 years that I decided to change careers and move into animal massage.
Wow. Okay. So what's your career background before you got involved with all this?
I was in marketing and operations. And I hit the big 5-0, big changes going on at my previous job. And I thought, what do I want to do with my second life? I want to do something I'm passionate about. I want to have a job that I can jump out of bed and look forward to going to.
Well, and we are very happy in the animal world that you chose to do that. Because as I know and Bev knows, when Bev was a volunteer coordinator, you were volunteered at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
Oh my God, that was so long ago.
That was a long time ago.
I think that was, what, 1998 or 99?
1999.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So you've been around a long time with us.
I have,
You have, and you've done a lot of work with us, and we appreciate it. You know, I think the other thing when you say, you know, your second path in life, I think, you know, Bev and I felt the same way.
Yeah.
We just, you know, we decided to finish our careers and then go on to this new career of Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
Yeah.
And it's an exciting roller coaster, that's for sure.
That's
but
for sure.
It's very rewarding. We all know that, right, Bev?
Right.
Okay. All right. So, Kathy, you have a business. It's a dog's life.
Yep.
And you have a full-time position at Pet Partners.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about Pet Partners? What do you do there now?
I am the office manager. I started a year ago after I finished my course in pet massage, and the Dr. Gerke had hired me as the office manager. And there I just look over all the functions from the reception staff, budgeting, working with the animals, fundraising, the whole 9 yards.
So for people that are not aware, Pet Partners is located on
Shaw Street, 139 Shaw Street in Fall River.
Yes. And we are going to be doing a joint fundraiser.
We are.
In July.
Yep.
We're going to do a
Yep.
joint fundraiser. So check our website and Facebook, and either Pet Partners or Forever Paws, and you'll see about our upcoming events with this great group.
Yep.
Now, how did you become a certified therapist, massage therapist?
Well, as I said, I had decided to go back to school. I had taken the workshop that Bancroft School of Massage in Worcester offered, and that was back in 2011. But I had started a new job as a director of marketing at UMass and didn't have the time. And when things were going on at UMass, transitions and layoffs, I was one of the people that was laid off, which was a good thing because I had made a decision to go back to school. And the thought was that I would go back for the animal massage. So I went to the Bancroft School of Massage. It was a 200-hour certification program. It took me about 6 months to do. And then there's 39 hours of internship. So it was pretty intense course. Every Monday, a lot of studying.
Wow, I didn't realize how intense that was.
Yeah, it's a pretty challenging thing, especially when you hit a certain age.
Yeah, well, you know, I think you've got a lot of energy. I don't think that age bump has hindered you in any way, shape, or form. I would say that is not the case at all. Okay, so tell us a little bit about Harold.
Well, Harold is a recent adoption of mine. He was surrendered by a family that he was diagnosed with diabetes. And the woman just couldn't afford the treatment, so I took him on. And we're regulating him with his insulin every day. It's going very well, and he's a great massage student for me because diabetes is very stressful on animals. So the insulin level can go up when a dog is stressed out. So massage really helps to keep his stress level low, and it helps me to be able to get a more accurate reading of his insulin levels. So he's my partner at work, and he's my little massage baby. So
he is
Does
beautiful.
he actually go to work with you?
he does. Yep.
When you do this pet massage, is it on small animals only, or do you have bigger animals?
I have We call it small animal massage because I don't do anything like horses or anything like that, but I'll do any size dog.
Oh, wow.
I'll also do cats, other animals, pocket pets. I've done ferrets. I've actually done a goat.
Really?
And I did participate when I was in school as part of my internship on a group of cows.
Wow.
They had recently been hurt when a roof had collapsed at a local farm. So the group of girls and I got together along with the instructor, and we met to help massage some of the cows. So, but most of the time it's dogs, cats, and I've done a rabbit.
Now, so your name of your business, it's A Dog's Life.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And I don't know, so there's so many things we could ask. Bev, you have anything you want to
Well, the first thing I want to ask is, could you actually show us on Harold how you would start a massage and where would you actually go with it?
Sure.
Where do you put the dog?
Well, usually we're on the ground, and I give myself during each, I have 2 sessions. I do a 30-minute or I'll do a 60-minute session. But I will usually sit on the floor, introduce myself, let the dog get used to me first. Very important. And then there are 5 basic strokes that I'll start with. But after I do an assessment, I have to take a look at the dog and see exactly what the issue is. So if the dog's gait is off, it might be something in the back, it could be something in the front. So depending on what is wrong with the dog and what I've assessed, we'll decide what I'm going to do. But again, I'll start with the 5 basic strokes. It could be a nice little neck massage. It could be just a effleurage to get him going, which is very good for him because it's good for his skin. It keeps his circulation going, gets the oils moving. And then again, depending on what's wrong, if a dog is having some physical therapy and the doctor has approved my doing massage, because that's the other thing, I need to make sure that a doctor, depending on what's wrong with the animal, has approved the massage. So I may do some passive range of motion just to keep the muscle, get the muscle going, strengthen the muscle. When I was at Forever Paws and I was doing my internship, a lot of the dogs down there were very stressed. So I would spend a lot of time just massaging them and getting them used to that human interaction, and so it's less stressful for them.
Wow.
What we learned in a recent workshop that we attended is, as a dog arrives to the shelter, the first thing that happens is the stress level increases. And we learned that in the stress level, it rises for the first 3 days. Then they calm down a little bit because now it's a routine. Then we heard the stress level goes up and down thereafter, depending on how long they're at the shelter. So having somebody like you coming into the shelter, that would help with the stress level on the dogs.
Right.
Even cats have the stress level too, correct?
Yep. And cats, as I mentioned, they can be massaged. They're a little bit more of a challenge, especially to stay still, but once they get used to you, it's amazing. Maybe 10 or 15 minutes, they'll allow you to do some, basic massage strokes. I actually had a cat down there that loved her paws to be massaged, so it's just like humans. It lowers the stress level. It intercepts pain if they're experiencing any pain. It can help things like the digestive system. One of the dogs that I had massaged down at Forever Paws had really bad skin issues. And so I used a lot of the vibration strokes to get the oils going, and at the same time I used an oil. And I think within about 2 weeks, his fur was starting to come back.
Oh,
and by the
nice.
time he was ready to be adopted, he looked like a new dog. I know Faye was thrilled.
I know, that is amazing, and we've seen some of the, what some of the things you've done. Matter of fact, we just recently had some animals from that raid in another, and the German Shepherd that came in we think has some hip problems. So we'll have to be in touch with you if
Absolutely.
that's the issues.
I have a question, Gail. I know I haven't let you finish that sentence
That's okay. Go ahead.
I don't want to lose the question
right
that's
ahead,
in my
Bev.
head. And the question is, our last show that we taped here with you at the end, we had the cat Mookie, and you mentioned digestive issues.
Yep.
Massage therapy is helpful with the digestive issues, and that's what Mookie's problem was.
Right.
So I have to bring this question to you then. Did you do the massage on Mookie while she was in foster care.
I did.
And
I did.
that must have been one of the reasons why she started eating.
I think so. I think the fact that she was out of a cage and she was in, an open environment, that helped because of the stress level. And yes, I think the massage strokes got her stress level down. It helped with her digestion. I also did a lot of Reiki on her too, which is energy healing.
So you also do Reiki?
I am a Reiki master, and it's part of my
I tell you, I learn something new on these shows all the time.
Now, tell me, how do the animals usually respond to the massage? I mean, Harold's just like really happy here. I mean, how do they, like a person, I would assume, responds to massage?
As long as if I can relax them. I mean, not every animal can be massaged. I rely on the owner to know whether or not they'll be receptive to me. But as a rule, once the massage is done, that little guy or girl is just laying down, very relaxed and comforted.
So that brings me to my next question. How do you handle a difficult animal? I know, like you say, it's like, person massages, human beings, and I know personally I'm not a good candidate for massage. I've tried, been to Sisters of Solace who works with us, and I personally do not take well to massage. Not that I would attack the person massaging me, but in the animal world, how do the difficult animals respond?
If I can see that an animal isn't going to respond, and I've sat with them and I've introduced myself, try to get them used to me, I'll try very light touches, but if they're wincing and they're not interested, I won't attempt the massage. I usually, I rely on the owner to know if this dog can be massaged. I'll review some of the things I'll be doing, and if they feel as though the dog isn't going to be receptive, what I will do is actually show the owner some strokes that they can do. If a dog is suffering from any sort of pain or they're going again through physical therapy, there are some things that an owner can do to help relieve some of the discomfort. I have 5 or 6 different strokes that I'll show them.
That's awesome.
So,
that's a good thing because, like I said, personally, I'm not crazy about massage, but if I needed to have something done, that might make it a little bit easier. I think that is really a great benefit.
Yeah.
That's super.
Yeah, they can't afford to have somebody come every month or every week, and why have an animal suffer because.
Right.
So I'd rather just show them myself. So I'll usually give them a flyer, something they can refer to later on. And again, if I can't massage the animal, I'll show the person on them some of the strokes that they can do.
Wonderful.
I have a question, Kathy. Suppose you have a dog, let's say a German Shepherd or a Rottweiler, that has had surgery and is now recovering, and the owner has requested therapeutic massage. How do you control the animal when you get down on the floor? Suppose the dog keeps trying to get up. How do you do that?
I'll work around it.
So you'll get up with the dog?
I'll get up with the dog. I follow the dog. Part of the training that I go through is learning animal behavior and understanding that. So if a dog is jumping up and down and flailing, there are some moves that will actually get them to relax. Usually it's the neck massage. Sometimes the pinna, if I'm massaging the ears. That'll get them to calm down. But I'll usually get around and work around the animal and their behavior.
So it doesn't matter the size of the dog? Because I noticed Harold, as your ambassador here, Harold hasn't moved at all. So I don't know if you're putting him to sleep with the massage.
Well,
but
probably.
Harold's just like, I remind myself of Mookie. Mookie did nothing. When we had her on the TV show, she was just so relaxed. And this is Harold now. Just so relaxed.
I know.
So we don't know if it's you or whether it's the animal, but it certainly looks like your technique is amazing. Maybe you should branch off into people too.
Well, part of the training was learning on people.
Was it?
You learn first on the people, and that gives you the opportunity to really develop a style, understand how deep you're going, and from there we moved to the animals in class.
So how long is a typical session? I think you mentioned they can hire you for 30 minutes or an hour. So your hands are moving for this whole time. So
The typical session, if it's a 60-minute session, I spend maybe about 10 minutes talking to the client about some of the issues that the animal may have, taking some notes. I analyze their gait, especially if they're having an issue maybe with arthritis, they have hip problems, hip dysplasia. So I just kind of get an idea of how they're walking. And then I start to feel the animal if there's anything else that I may feel that they're not aware of. That's the other benefit to massage, is that I may find things that the owner isn't aware of. And then from there, I'll sit down and I'll start very lightly after I've introduced myself. I get the dog to calm down a bit, and then I start working with the strokes. And again, it's the 5 basic strokes, and then I may go into, if they're doing physical therapy, for example, I will start maybe with the passive range of motion, find some trigger point areas. The other thing to remember is that if the dog is going through physical therapy, I will talk directly to the therapist first to find out what are some of the things I need to be aware of with the dog.
Well, that's pretty intense. I mean,
yeah.
that's a lot of work. How often should it, I guess it depends on the animal, how often should a pet have massage?
Well, it depends on what the issue
Right.
is. If they're going through physical therapy, I would suggest weekly. And a lot of physical therapists will do the basic functions with the animal. Most of them have gone through some sort of massage training, but the ones that I've met recently haven't actually been certified in massage. So it's a nice little complement to what they're doing.
Now, for my little girl Lola, would I stay in the room with you, or is it better for the owner to leave?
I prefer the owner to be there. It
Okay.
helps keep the animal calm. I go, as part of my business, I go to people's homes. They don't come to me.
Okay.
And that way they're more comfortable. And again, the owner's there. It helps. They can sit down with me. They can watch what I'm doing. And that way, too, if I find anything, it gives me an opportunity to show the client what I may see, and they may want to address it with their vet.
There's a lot of benefits to this. I'm just becoming amazed as to the benefits that you're providing for your clients, and I think that's wonderful. Like, what would I do if I was going to have my little girl Lola have a massage? How would I prepare? Do I give her a bath? You know, is there certain things that you need for me to do ahead of time? I'm not sure.
Well, I would ask that you take her out for a walk. So that she can relieve herself. It might be a good idea to take them around the block or
Get a
have them
little tired.
in their backyard and run around just a little bit to tire them out just
Okay.
a bit. And then I'll come in. I have a big mat that I use to have them come on. And then the two of us would sit down and I'd start, again, assessing the animal, taking the notes, any medications that she may be on, who your vet is, and then analyze the gait, watch the walk, and start feeling for areas that I think might be an issue that you might not be aware of.
Okay.
I have a question, Kathy. We recently went to a seminar on animal behavior, and one of the things that we were learning about in this seminar was dogs that are not as sociable as other dogs. So some part of the seminar was reading the language of a dog's body, and dogs that are not sociable but are borderline not sociable, when you go to a pet that's a borderline unsociable dog, he doesn't seek out your attention. He's nervous around new surroundings. You know, they do that stranger test with some of the dogs. How does this massage work with a dog that is on that borderline unsociable and can't really be approached? You know, it's a stress factor, and they haven't been socialized as a puppy. So how do you approach a dog like that, and how long do you think it would take to work with this kind of a dog? Because we adopt a lot of these dogs out at the shelter.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wondering about that.
They are a challenge, and they do take a little bit longer. It wouldn't be a typical 30-minute massage. It would be something where I would sit there, have the dog get used to me. I know there was a dog down at the shelter that I had worked on that was borderline sociable. But once they get used to you, it could be just a matter of doing strokes for maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and then build on that as time goes on. Because the nice thing about massage is that it really does create a human bond with the animal and the person. So it would be a little bit longer, and I would suggest that, telling people or down at the shelter that it's not going to happen overnight. But at the end, it could be an amazing change for the animal. It may not happen again right away, but over time, that touch.
I know that you did an internship with, at the shelter. You utilized our animals. Were you able to share with the staff a little bit of the techniques that you used?
I did. I actually did my first workshop there. I had about 6 or 7 of your.
Yes, I did.
6 or 7 of your staff, and I showed them the various strokes. In fact, one of the volunteers had come to me a couple of days later with a lot of questions that she was going to try to apply to her own animals as well as the animals down the shelter. And I am always willing to do a workshop for the shelters, because I think it's an amazing thing for people to learn that it's beyond petting the animal. There's a little bit more involved, and it can help the animal and the stress level, and again, create that human bond.
I kind of remember what you're doing there, because with like our little girl Lola again, as an example, I remember that workshop, and she has those big papillon ears, and at night she's with me and I just rub those ears, and she seems to just relax and she's very happy. So it's very helpful, and I think that one of the things that's very helpful for especially for animals coming, as Bev has pointed out, from shelters. They're nervous, they're upset, they've been taken away from their family or whatever the concerns are, and they need that time. And we learned a lot, as Bev keeps referring back to the workshop, we learned a lot about that. And that 3-day period is important, but animals are not like us, which is unfortunate. They don't keep all the memories. After a few days, they'll start saying, okay, this is my new life. Now I got to get used to this routine. Right. So we're very, fortunate and blessed that we're involved with, some of the workshops that we're able to get the staff to attend and ourselves, and then also have someone like yourself that's such a great resource for us. And I think it's been very helpful. I know it's been very helpful. So I just like a little bit of information about It's a Dog's Life. Do you have your own website?
I do.
Okay,
I do.
So you do have a website.
Yep.
All right. And so people can go on the computer and look up It's a Dog's Life, and they can get the information. And I don't like to usually talk about money, but like what's a typical, for people to understand, what's a typical for like an hour session?
It's $55.
$55.
Yeah, and I will travel within a 30-mile radius of Fall River. So I don't apply mileage beyond within that 30 miles.
Wow, you do a lot.
Yeah.
You're a very busy lady.
I am.
Wow. I can't
And I
believe
believe,
that.
Kathy, this is the 3rd show that you've come on with us in 3 different aspects.
Yes.
She didn't just come for one part of our show. She's been here 3 different times with 3 different aspects of the show. And as you know, we try to tell the community out there that Forever Paws is more than just a shelter. We're so involved in the community and everything that we do, and this is an example of what we do, working with the community, working with pet partners. We're trying to expand our business to incorporate people's lives with animals. We just think it's an amazing aspect. So what I want to ask you is, I don't know if you have business cards or anything, but when people adopt from us, we would like to say this animal could benefit from massage therapy, and you're the only one we know. So we would like to be able to make that contact with some of our adopters.
Oh, sure. As I said, my background is in marketing, and I was done with all my marketing material before my class was done.
I think that's a great idea, Bev, because I think one of the things too that people say to us, we can't find, when we adopt an animal, as you both well know, we don't have the perfect animal. When we adopt the animal, we try to give full disclosure as to what's happened with the animal. People say, well, how old is the dog? Well, when was their birthday? Well, they don't come and tell us that. They don't come with records like birth certificates like human beings. And some people, like, well, you told me the dog was 3 years old. My vet said 4. Okay. Well, we try to give a range, and sometimes, we don't always know. And like you said, sometimes you can see the gait in the animal, and other times, if the animal's been at the shelter for a while, they may be really stressed out, or they may consider that their home. So now they're going to another home, and you've got to have some time to give them to get acclimated to their new environment. And a lot of people have a difficulty with that. So if there is as I think what Bev pointed out, isn't just another factor that we can offer the community if our adopters coming in and saying, I want, let's say Walter as a dog, and we say, well, Walter's kind of an older dog, and because we're a no-kill shelter, that's another thing that's very important. We have a lot of older, elderly dogs, and you know, they're turned in or they're let loose because they're gone. You know, people, you know, they're too old.
Yeah.
Well, we don't, you know, we don't turn them away. If they're adoptable, you get old, you get arthritis, you get aches and pains, you have to deal with that.
Right, right.
And so we try to find, you know, we have a senior for senior program, you know, senior animals, senior people, we work with that. We're very fortunate to have that program. And I think people understand that, you know, this is the animal that you need to help. But this is just another part of the package that we can give to them,
Sure.
which I think is absolutely awesome. I don't know if we've touched on every aspect you want to discuss. Is there anything that you may have wanted to tell our audience?
Well, I think one of the things, I know that there is a misconception about animal massage. They think I'm just petting the dog.
Oh.
And it's a lot more than that. It's, again, it's the training that I've gone through, the pathology. We've learned everything from anatomy to physiology, behavior, so this, and of course the strokes. So it's a lot more than just massaging the dog, and people need to, petting the dog, and people really need to understand that. And as far as, like I said, with my business, what I do is I don't expect, I know it can be costly for people. If they can't have me to come back every month, I'll be more than happy to sit there and show them strokes that they can do themselves. I give them a flyer. That way the dog always benefits.
Well, Kathy, I want to thank you and Harold for coming today. I really appreciate it. I know Bev and I have both learned a lot. I hope our audience has learned a lot about massage, and thank you, and I hope you'll be come back again and visit us again.
Thank you for having me.
Another aspect of where you're here. Thank you both.
Kathy.
Thank you.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt. There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
When you adopt, you give an animal a second chance at life and a second chance at love. Like their human counterparts, animals deserve a life of dignity and happiness, but most of all, they deserve our love. At Forever Paws Animal Shelter, we work to give animals the gift of time. Our mission is simple: place these valued animals in loving homes. A pet is a friend for life. When you believe in them, they will always believe in you. Forever Paws Animal Shelter, giving animals a new leash on life.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.